Hello and welcome back, guys, to another live trade recap. So, today we are going to be doing the trade recap that I've taken on 26th May yesterday, and it was a trade in MNQ. So, let's just jump right into the trade recap. So, going on to the day, if you see the market had opened here 9:30 am, we'll just directly go right into that. So, yeah, this was the all-time high, and yeah, we also had a gap up opening and we didn't fill the gap. I did think that maybe we this would have been the initial draw on liquidity for the market to initially fill up this gap and we could continue higher, but that didn't happen. That was my one thought process that maybe we could look to target the new week opening gap. Okay, but the market opened up here. As you can see, it's 9:30 am. It formed an SMT and it just kept on going to the downside. Then this clearly was the manipulation move. At this point, ES had already taken out this London low. So this is already blue line. This is what sell side liquidity as also the London low. So at this point of time, the market had already, sorry, ES had already taken out this low, but the NQ had not taken this low, and it just started rejecting the 1 hour consequent encroachment. And if you see the overall equilibrium range as well, while the market was here, the 9:30 am open. So see here, at that time exactly, we have closed above the equilibrium range. You will see this equilibrium range of this entire higher low to higher high. We have closed above that, which signals in price. This doesn't exactly signal in price that we definitely want to go on higher, but this technically is a expansion model. And once we started rejecting this gap, we ran through multiple fair value gaps. Here, there was no entry available. Technically, I could have entered here off of this, but 5 minute closed here. Okay, if you see the 5 minute 5 minute candle closed here, this one here, the 5 minute candle closed here. So it is very weird to looks on number entry there, but technically as I trade macro, I was waiting for the macro time to enter, then I can look to take that entry. So the market came here before the macro open. You see 948 49, it was very close to the all-time high. This is the all-time high, this one yesterday's body yesterday. So it started edging the all-time high, and at this point two scenario could have played out. First scenario is we could come here, reject the 3 minute gap. There is a 5 minute gap here as well. You will see there is a big 5 minute gap. Come here, retrace below. Then we reject the 5 minute gap and continue higher. Or second thing, we break to the 3 minute gap and we could continue to the downside and eventually all-time high, and this becomes just a equal high. Okay, that was my thought process. But since we started rejecting the gap and we initially, you see here, sorry, at this point, I had decided to entry after the change the step delivery. You see here exactly here. So we got a nice retracement into the 3 minute gap as well as the 5 minute gap. Then we got a nice bishop recovery, 3 minute, 30-second IBG plus change the state in 30 seconds, and there I take my entry stop loss below this low and targeting the all-time high as a break-even point. And usually whenever the market hits an all-time high, it usually just keeps going for like what, maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes. So yeah, that was my initial thought process. I'll just show you the session recording as well. So we see the session recording here. So what, 8 minutes before market open. So market opens here 28, 29, 30. So market opens here. Boom. We got a nice SMT here. Then we just keep displacing to the downside. Initially come, we form an SMT to the form an bullish SMT as well as a bearish SMT. We come here. And here I had taken a like misclicked and done an entry here somewhere. Where have I done that? I was pressing the shift something like that, and the market just entered. Like I had pulled the keyboard and I was pressing shift plus the mouse. Like I don't know what I was trying to do. I just did that, and the market just entered in the order. Like I don't know what the fuck is going on. And if you can see, this is one lot, but it entered in three lots. You see here one. I press. I don't like. This is no point of entry. Like I don't know what happened. I just press shift and something like as you can see at this point. Like what? Like I was very confused that how the fuck did order get automatically opened, and I canceled that quickly. because this is not a trader. Like I don't know how that happened. I was misclick somewhere. So yeah, then I waited for the macro to open. Macro opens 44, 45. We just interest here. Now at this point, I'm thinking maybe we'll just go out and take out the all-time high, and we could continue to go further. But then if it does that, then I will have no entry criteria. Okay, but the market retraced back to the 5 minute gap as well as a 3 minute gap. It started edging the all-time high. Then it came down. It came down into the 5 minute gap as well as the 3 minute gap. You see, yeah, this 3 minute gap was the validation point for me. If this 3 minute would have been broken, maybe most likely I will look target the sell side liquidity London low. But if it hold that 3 minute gap, then most likely we will take out the all time high. That was the overall thought process. Okay, we see here, we started rejecting here. At this point, then we start rejecting the 1 minute gap. Now I have not decided to take an it. We are already 9:53, 3 minutes into the macro time. Okay, then I'm waiting for a nice rejection. We start rejecting the 3 minute gap. I go into 30 second. Like it was very beneficial for me to go to the 30 second. If I would have waited for 1 minute technical, I would have still gotten an entry, but yeah, 30 second was a better entry for me. So it's 30 second, I wait here. We got nice. This I mark out the change the state of delivery. 30 second change the state of delivery plus I, which I would have if it if there was no CSD, most likely I would have not entered. But I did. Scandal was very bullish and it was very convincing that indeed going to target the all time high. So at this point, as it here, the rat is okay. So yeah, but I waited for a little bit pullback. That was the best, my opinion. So yeah, I put my stop loss here, put it there. Then the market started going. Then I had to go for a walk, so I cancel out my trade. Like at this point, I took partial some around here. Why did I take partial at here? I took taken partial at the all time high. When the market started rejecting that, then here I had taken out partial. You see, where have I taken? Yes, at this point I've already taken out partial, and the market was continually going higher. So yeah, I didn't like the video just ends here. Because I just stop the recording and I go for a walk. Okay, and I manually close the trade in my phone. Okay, so yesterday, yeah, that was the overall trade, and the overall trade I closed it somewhere around here, here or here, somewhere around here. The 1 minute candle I had closed there. Okay, so yeah, that was the initial trade. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. It was a very simple trade. The continuation market came to the 3 minute gap. IVG plus seeing the stop delivery entry exit. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Bye bye. Take care. Peace out.